Hi everyone, in this video I am showing you how I make these christening themed cupcakes. Essentially they're just cupcakes with a cross on them, but I wanted to take you along as I made these as I feel like I've improved my cupcake decorating skills and I just want to take you along and just show you how simple it is to just, make cupcakes semi from scratch. I'm not sure if you remember that show by, I forgot her last name, but that show is Sandra where she like makes a bunch of stuff semi half homemade, so like she'd buy things from the store that were already made and like somewhat assemble at home. So kind of similar to what I'm doing right now. So to make the crosses that you just seen me pop out, I'm just taking some like candy melts and then I'm just melting them down and piping them into the molds. Then I just throw them in the freezer because I want them to dry really quickly. And for the frosting or the buttercream frosting or the buttercream, whatever you call it, I am taking 4 cups of powdered sugar or confectioner sugar or icing sugar, whatever you call it, and I am putting it into a bowl. I'm just roughly measuring it mainly because I never mastered this buttercream recipe yet. It's so simple, but like I always have a hard time like getting my butter to the right consistency for buttercream. Like I had one that I made earlier before I made these cupcakes that were perfect consistency. Then this one I forgot to take it out of the microwave quick enough. So it was, you will see, but it was quite a journey to get it to pipeable slash not so grainy buttercream. So you can see the butter right here. It's quite melted. You don't want your butter to be this melted. You want your butter to be softened, like the texture of like buttercream without the sugar. So I over melted this butter, and before I get into that, I'm adding a splash of vanilla extract and about like 3 tablespoons of milk. And I'm using my hand mixer. This is a KitchenAid hand mixer, and I'm just putting it on the lowest setting and mixing that all together. And then as you can see here, the butter was way too soft or it was completely melted. So the texture of the buttercream is not that good. It's way too soft. It's not pipeable. It's still tasty, but it's nothing you can use for cake decorating or cupcake decorating or anything of that sort. So I'm just mixing it as much as I can to oxidate the butter as much as I can so it's as firm as it can be. And then when I realize I get to the point where it's too much, I just add some more icing sugar to compensate for the very, very soft butter, but also because I did roughly put in the 4 cups of butter, icing sugar, so there was probably a lot more room for some more icing sugar. Then, as you can see, it became really cookie-like, the kind of like crumbly, the buttercream. So what I did was get a spoon and I just mixed it to, get everything incorporated like so. And then I'm also adding in my first round of food coloring. So as you can see, the buttercream is very, very yellow. And that's just because butter is naturally yellow. So what I like to do, especially when I'm making very, very light colors, is I take a few drops of an oil-based food coloring. You can use whatever food coloring, but I'm using an oil-based one. And I'm putting that in and then mixing it up. And then I let it mix until it gets fully incorporated with the buttercream. And then I go in and I add the next round of food coloring as well as a bit more milk because I realize that it needs to soften up a bit and I want it to be more silky, the buttercream. And then I just mix it up so I can get this nice pastel pink color that I'm going for. And I do this just because I feel like it makes me use less buttercream, I mean, yet less food coloring, and also gets the color to what it needs to be because we don't want some orange looking buttercream. We want pink, right? So once I'm done mixing it and it's at a consistency that I like, I'm going to put it into a piping bag. And this is my piping bag method that a lot of people use. You get a nice cup, you put the bag inside with the tip, put the frosting in there, and it's so much easier. And to pipe, I got this tip like online from a really cheap place, but it works perfectly. And you just want to have confidence when you do it. It took me a lot of practice to get my piping skills to this, and this is not even that good. And I'm just simply starting from like the top of the cupcake and then working my way around it. Some people say start from the middle. I tried that, it doesn't work for me, so I prefer starting it from the tip and then working my way into it. And this is how it comes out. I like it. Maybe I'll get to a point where I can do it the other way, but this is what works for me and this is what I like. I wish I got you a side view of how cute it looked, but you're just gonna have to see the bird's eye view just like me. So once I'm done, I'm taking the crosses that we made. I decided to use the big flower looking crosses because I think they look much nicer. And then I'm just taking those crosses and putting them on top of the cupcake. And I'm very strategic here. I'm using it to cover the point where I let go of the frosting, where it's like kind of like not so cute, to cover that up. And here's how they look. They taste amazing. If you're not a big fan of buttercream, use a whipped buttercream. That can reduce the sweetness and the thickness and the overwhelmingness of the buttercream. I didn't really eat these. These were for somebody, and yeah, I hope you enjoyed. And you make these yourself for whatever baptism, confirmation, wedding, whatever Christ-like event you have that you need some treats for. So thank you, and I hope to see you in my next video. Bye.